Hello, BookTube. This is Aaron from Aaron Read a Book or Aaron Read a Book. Um, I thought I'd do a little Friday reads. I missed last Friday because I had the flu. But I haven't actually read that much because I'm reading multiple books at once, like a real booktuber. But I did finish one book, so I'll talk about that, and I'll talk about a bit about the two that I'm reading as well. Um, First of all, though, bought a couple of books, little mini haul. The first one is when I was talking about my three sort of authors that I am always in the mood for. I chose P.G. Wodehouse as one, and then I realised I only really have a couple of P.G. Wodehouse books uh, in actual paper copies. And then I saw Steve Donahue said that this one is regarded as the funniest one. Um, during the morning. And so I just picked it up off eBay for a couple of quid. So I'll probably read that quite soon because it looks very tempting. Um, and and I am always in the mood for P.G. Wodehouse. The other one was Sean the Book Maniac had Nancy Pell on his Friday reads the other week, and I didn't know Nancy Pell because I think she's sort of more of an American radio person. So I wouldn't really know her, but she was really interesting, and she does these sort of reference books for recommended reading, as if I need more book recommendations. But it just sounded really interesting, so I picked up one of hers, and it's just got lots of like Irish fiction there, and it will just give you a list of Irish fiction books she likes, um, or mystery. But she seems to be a very sort of quite charming and well-read person, so I thought I'd get one. Um, yeah, so the two books that came in. The the only book I finished in since I last did a Friday reads is this The Night Watch by Sarah Waters, and um, I heard a lot of good things about this because it was on Kelly at Books I'm Not Reading's top 10 list. I think it was their number one. A few other people had it in the top 10s. And I just always see her books in top 10s as well. So, and I'd never read any Sarah Waters, so I thought I'd give her a go. The only thing I knew about her is that The Fingersmith was made into The Handmaiden, and I love that film. So I, I had a feeling I would like her, and I really did. I I was sort of wary of the plot structure of this in that it starts in post-war and then it goes back in time. So I thought it would be jumping back a lot more, but it actually only jumps back twice, I think. And one of those times is right at the end. So basically, the book is divided into 1947 and 1944. Uh, so at first I was a bit worried because not a great deal happens at the beginning, but you're just getting to know the characters, which is actually fine with me. I love character led books. So, um, but the problem with really character led books is sometimes you don't really like the characters. So there's a few characters now I didn't really like. The only one that I really like is Kay, like wholeheartedly like, and she's kind of not a periphery character, but not one you follow really, and you mainly follow two two women in a lesbian relationship. That obviously it has to be secret because it's 1947. Um, you follow a young boy who has been in prison, and you don't really know why at first, and then the story kind of goes back in time, and you find out why, and you follow his sister who is in a secret relationship with a married man, and works with one of the women in the lesbian relationship. That storyline I really didn't enjoy as much because she's obviously got terrible taste in men as well. but there's some interesting little trinkets in there as well that link their stories, and you know to look out for them when it goes back into 1944. The 1944 section is brilliant because it's set in what is known as the Baby Blitz, sort of a second shorter blitz towards the end of the war. That wasn't very successful, and the Germans were just kind of lashing out. But her telling of the Blitz is brilliant, and you can tell she's really done her research into a lot of Second World War accounts, because she just brings it to life really well. Yeah, I really enjoyed that section, and then the end is really good as well. I thought it would be more, because of the unique structure of it. I thought that would be more of a sort of plot device than it actually is. It's not actually that important. That I think the good things about this book would work in any order, and that is sort of the characterization and the writing itself, and just the interesting time period she set the novel in. I'm interested to read more of her stuff because she sets her books in Victorian times usually, and I'm obviously a big fan of the Victorian era, so really enjoyed it as a first Sarah Waters, and I'll definitely be reading more. I don't think I loved it as much as other people because it wasn't a 5-star read for me. Maybe I think it will stick with me more than I realise though, because I still think about it, and I finished it quite a while ago. And any book that has well done characters does end up sticking with you. Yeah, we'll definitely read more of her books though. And what I'm reading at the moment, I was kind of half reading. I say half. It was probably about 90% the Night Watch. This is why I don't normally read more than one book at a time. I was reading like 90% the Night Watch, and then just before I was falling asleep, I was reading The Small House at Allington by Anthony Trollope, and this is a really chunky one. So this is the penultimate. I think it's the fifth book in the Barsetshire Chronicles, and I've ramped up the reading of this since I finished the Sarah Waters book. But I have started another book as well, so I am doing the 2 books at one thing. But there's some dividing a bit more evenly now. This again, at the beginning of this, I didn't think I was liking it as much as previous books in the series, but it's really, I'm about halfway through now, and it's really ramped up, and it kind of reminds me a bit more of The Way We Live Now than other Trollope novels, because it's got some right buggers in it, some right dodgy characters, and you kind of love to hate them. So I am enjoying this so far. It's yeah. Also, it introduces Plantagenet Pallister, who is obviously one of the main characters in the Pallister novels which follow this. So it's exciting to see a Pallister turn up, and I will let you know how I get on with this at the end. I think it's quite a lot of people's favourite one, but everyone says that about every Barsetshire novel. There's like, I still don't know if Dr. Thorne or Barchester Towers is my favourite. They're both really good. But yeah, getting on well with this. The other thing I'm reading at the same time is for Historathon, and that is Ancestors: A Prehistory of Britain in 7 Burials by Dr. Alice Roberts. And this is obviously a non-fiction book, and it goes through different archaeological sites, or 7 different archaeological sites, starting with like the earliest one in Britain. I don't know when it goes up to, but it might go. I don't think it goes past 500, because she talks a lot about, well, it's prehistory, isn't it? So it's pre-Romans. So yeah, so I think it fits the first quarter quite nicely. I'm really enjoying this so far. It's she talks less about the actual burial sites than I thought she would. She's talking a lot about what life in Britain at the time would be like for these people, because I guess a lot of the stuff we don't know, And what I really also like about this book is it's so new. It's only 2021. It talks a lot about um, using. I don't know what the work is. It's something like archogenealogy, but using the study of sort of genes and things and DNA to know more about these burials, because we can do it now. And it's quite interesting because I studied archaeology at college, or a sixth form college, which is like 16, 17 years old in England. And none of this stuff existed then. So it's really exciting to hear about new techniques, and it's still very new. They're still like doing studies on they have to look at a like big population level rather than an individual level. So they're still doing loads of studies on it. But that's really interesting. She's got a bit of a bee in a bonnet about religion, though. I was like, why does she keep like going on tangents about how terrible religion is? And then I looked her up, and she was like the leader of the Humanist Society or something. Um, but yeah, enjoying it so far. So that's my Historathon first quarter book. So that's my little booktube update. My little Friday reads. Let me know if you've read Joy in the Morning, uh, or even Booklust. I don't imagine it's the kind of book you sit down and read page cover to cover, but it's sort of a quick reference when you fancy something. Um, and what are you reading for Historathon? Did you enjoy the Night Watch? What is your favourite Sarah Waters? I love hearing what everyone's favourite Sarah Waters is, because I asked several people on BookTube what theirs are in comment sections, and everyone says something different. So, and I always think that's quite a good sign for an author. But yeah, it's like when you ask people what their favourite album of an artist is, and no one agrees, you're like, that's a good artist. Yep. So let me know what your favourite Sarah Waters is. BookTube. Have a good one. Bye.